bonding dentists together is one of my favorite things to do as the founder of Dentist Job Connect. Dentist Job Connect is out here helping you unlock more freedom, free time, and fewer hygiene checks by finding the right associate for your office. If we can help you, just text HIRE to 215-798-9897. And if you're looking for an amazing associate position, text job to 215-798-9897. You can see all of our positions listed at dentistjobconnect.com. So I'm thrilled to be talking with one of our Dentist Job Connect practice owners, Dr. Andrew Sugg of Green Park Dentistry. Andrew, just orient our audience a little bit as to kind of what you do in your daily dentisting life, where you're located, and a little bit about your practice.
Hey, so thank you for having me, Paul. We're really excited to kind of be on this platform and kind of talk with you and kind of figure out more and more about the Krebs cycle. I know we
Awesome.
talked.
Yeah. That's the key.
Yeah.
That's really what bonds us all together,
That's
right?
why I want
Minimizing the
time so I
Krebs
can
cycle.
really study that up, you know?
Yeah. I like that.
But yeah, we're in Hickory, North Carolina, which is halfway between Charlotte and Asheville. Asheville being a large city in the mountains of North Carolina, and Charlotte being one of the largest or second largest city in North Carolina. So yeah, we're heading into the mountains, beautiful views.
Nice.
My daily dental life is I'm very busy. We have an associate dentist now. He's been with us for 4 years, and we're looking to add a second associate to kind of free up some of his time and mine as well, because we're both getting busy again. So
I love that. I love that teamwork type of attitude. You're looking for another dentist on your team to,
yeah,
I think what's, unique about dentistry and people maybe not know from the outside is, you can have 4 office managers, you can have 5 dental assistants, you could have 3 hygienists, but the people who do the dentist thing, the licensed dentists, are really the unlock to more growth and less stress. So we're going to find you that person out there. So what is your why? That's a popular question, Simon Sinek's book. So if someone just said, hey, Dr. Andrew, why are you looking for an associate? What's the answer to that?
I think to free up some time and just also kind of add to our group. I think with Dr. Parks, our associate right now, he was added on 4 years ago, and I didn't expect. I mean, I know that's pretty amazing whenever you have an associate come on and stay that long. But I think adding to just our culture and our teamwork, and it really has just made it the camaraderie and the ability, I think, for me to kind of come from the side of teaching and mentorship has really changed kind of how I view dentistry, really. It's made it a lot more fun to come into work every day. He and I joke like we kind of don't like the days when we're here by ourselves, because we kind
Yeah.
of love like chit-chatting and like talking through stuff. So
Well, that's what I say. There's no other dentist bat signal. I ran, for a while, people just think I sprouted out of this Cabbage Patch universe for Facebook in 2017, but I was alive and doing things before then, Andrew. And I would, for years, run our satellite practice Thursdays by myself, a 3-operative practice. Some of my most stressful days, I had no bat signal to say, hey, could someone check a hygiene patient? Could someone come and help me with this? What do you think of this challenge? So I love that you've added the fun and camaraderie there. And as we get into the compensation part, just remind our audience, because I know we talk about this is going hand in hand with growing your footprint,
yeah,
expanding your office. So tell
yeah.
us about that expansion. Then also, how do you plan to compensate your associate?
Perfect. Yeah. So we actually, whenever we added our first associate, it was after COVID. So we were coming out of that. We knew we were very busy. We went from 5 ops to 6 and quickly filled that space. So we knew we were going to try to add on to our current building. That fell through. We just found out that wasn't going to give us enough space, honestly. So we found a new building. We've renovated that. And that project, we're actually ready to move into our new space at the end of the month. So we have everything scheduled
Awesome.
to move in over Labor Day weekend. We're really, really excited. We're all on top of each other here at the current space we're in, which we're gonna miss that. We're gonna miss being able to hear each other and chit chat down the hall, just feeling like they're next door. But with this new space, we have plenty of extra space to kind of grow and add
That's great.
another kind of cool team member to our group. So,
Make sure,
um,
Andrew, before you talk compensation, I want you to take your articulator from dental school and put it up in some prominent place to mark the new
yes.
space.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
I'm
I
sure
might
one of
go
the
at the
earpieces are
floor.
missing. Yeah.
Yes, the Facebo and the articulator
Yeah,
together.
yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
so I use these to educate too, Andrew, and you're an awesome dentist who pays attention. You've done coaching, you've done consulting, and how much dentists make is important. Dental school is expensive. Many times there's no judgment on this, but dentists are getting their very first real job when they become an associate. They've gone to college, they've gone to dental school. Of course, they've worked as, caddies or restaurant servers and things like that, but their first professional job. And there's just a lack of information on just things like compensation. So, we talked a little bit yesterday. If this associate says, hey, this is a good area for me, this is a good group, love to be part of this camaraderie, but I might have to tell my spouse I need to make money. I might have to pay my loans. I might have to move. Tell me about the compensation structure for this associate.
Yeah, so I really modeled our associateship over something that I would want to be in, right? So that was really, I was an associate at 1.2, and I was with everything from a really awesome private practice that I loved and knew that I wanted to they were my mentors, and I wanted to be a lot like them when I grow up, I like to say.
Great.
And then also I worked in corporate dentistry and found out a lot of things that I did not like there, right? So we really tried to model around that. So I have a lot of really cool things that, we do a safety net for a daily guarantee, which I love letting everybody know that our associate actually never needed from the very beginning. So he never had to use that safety net.
I also want to share, I love that I've done so many of these interviews and so many awesome people like you, and hopefully people are watching this and get value. No one has ever been in a situation where there's a safety net and said, I'm so glad I got to use it, right? But they've always been in a situation and said, I'm so glad that it's there, right?
Yes.
So, like, why don't we just be normal as a profession? We pay our front desk, we pay our assistants, we pay our hygienists. Like, if you're a dentist who's signing up to work somewhere, just know the safety net's there, and it's great that you don't have to use it. But to me, and I'll be loud about this, it shows just a responsible attitude towards the practitioner saying, hey, we want to make sure that you can eat food. These young dentists, Andrew, they're very entitled. I've heard these young dentists, they want to do these crazy things like have shelter and eat food. What kind of entitled person? Yeah. So I love that you've shared. I want to give it to you, but you have a safety net if you need it, but you're sharing that your associates haven't needed it.
Right. And I think that was it. That came from my background. And I know, like, where I was, it was really nice when you were making that big move to a new job, just knowing like, hey, I can know I'm guaranteed this to pay my rent and my bills. Anything on top of that will just help me like fuel that growth. So that's where we want them to feel like that is, that's definitely there if they need it. And our goal is for them not to need it. Obviously, it's like you said, it's something that's just there as a safety net for sure.
And then on the
we do
other
have a
side
safety
of
net
it,
there.
if you project positivity and saying, hey, if you were taking this job, I love your attitude of I want something I would take. What's something that they could high watermark they could hit, or something reasonable monthly for them production wise?
Yeah, so 100,000 a month is definitely a goal that I think is very obtainable. I think that's something that our current associate was hitting very early on, and on average has hit that pretty reasonably.
And if we break this down, just to continue to teach as two medium-aged dentists, you're probably younger than me, but they're going to work 20 days a month, right? Is that roughly what they're going to work?
Right.
And $5,000 a day is not an unreasonable amount of production, patient-centered production, if there's patient flow. So I like to just break these things down, and someone might say, oh, there's no way anyone could do that. I say, actually, it could be reasonable. And it doesn't mean it's 5,000 every day. Some days you might produce 7, some days might 3, but I like how you've outlined that there's this opportunity to make $300,000 a year if you're producing, what you guys expect with the new patient flow.
Exactly. And that's it. It's with the camaraderie too. It's the mentorships there. We do a lot of really cool complex procedures. I did an AGD right out of dental school and got to work with some really cool specialists. And we do sedation dentistry. We do root canals, ortho, implant dentistry, removable, fixed. Our current associate's really into sleep medicine. So we really foster a place of growth and excitement. Like we are, I like to tell patients that we are dorky dental people here. And if they sat and talked with me all day about dentistry, I would let them, right? Like I would talk about this all day. But that's what's kind of fun, is that's our culture. We're really, really big into that. We want to hear laughter in the hallways. We see a lot of anxious patients, and so we feel like laughter is definitely the best medicine here.
I love that. I'd like you to help me, Andrew, because I use these to teach. So I want to share with my audience, if someone doesn't do something, it doesn't mean that their decision was terrible. I will use an example. If you come to Philadelphia, Andrew, and you want to eat at our amazing restaurants, and you don't go to Budokan, and you go to another restaurant, it doesn't mean that your restaurant totally stunk. It just means that, oh, hey, Budokan's one of our best places, and I think you're going to be really glad you went there. Tell me about that with the AEGD. Why are you glad you did one? if you
Mm.
were talking to a D4 right now who said, I don't know if I want to do those AGD and GPRs, I just want to get out, I want to go work for XYD DSO, I understand that attitude. I did a multiple year GPR. I would just like you to share, what value did you get out of your AGD and why would you recommend one?
Yeah, I mean, that's an awesome question because I actually didn't understand how much I was going to appreciate my AGD when I was in it, if that makes sense. So I have all my
Yeah.
friends that were out making great money right out of school, right? And so you feel like you're taking this big hit and you're not making the money that they were going to make. But I remembered a lot of my professors telling me, hey, like if you don't find that associateship right out of school that's going to be a mentor and teach you the things you want to learn, an AGD or GPR is a guaranteed way to do that, kind of like our daily guarantee we were just talking about,
Yeah.
right? So in a way, I would love to be that associateship that someone's looking for that may not have the opportunity to go
Gotcha.
to an APD or GPR. But at the same time, if they need that guarantee of, and apply somewhere, but maybe they're looking for an associateship, I kind of feel like that's where the secret sauce will be for associates in the future. Obviously there's other places you can go. You can go places to get fast. You can go places to just make a lot of money. You can go places to be there temporarily and then move on. But we want to be a nice long-term place to come and foster a place of growth and learning and good teamwork. So
And you said something there. I want us to do our last two questions, but what I was just one of my favorite movies, The Karate Kid, the Mr. Miyagi thing. You learn things that you don't know till you need later. And I will share, without judgment to people who haven't done one, doesn't mean you can't be a good dentist, doesn't mean you can't be successful. It really teaches you early in your career how to be part of a team, how to work with the assistants, how to work with bigger, stronger dentists, how to get feedback. So when people go,
right,
oh, am I going to do 15 crown preps? Am I going to do 150 extractions? I go, those are really important. But what's
right,
really important is for the first time in your career, when dental school is lone wolf stuff, right? Dental school is like you take the patient to pay. There's things we have to do in dental school. You have to do all the jobs by yourself. So I really
right.
appreciate you sharing that aspect.
Yeah,
Now, as we wrap up, the procedures they're going to do, right? Every chef wants to know what they're going to cook. So you can have a
right.
great culture, a great team, a great area. But if what the dentist is doing every day is not aligned with what brings them happiness, or at least doesn't bring them annoyance, it's a problem. So tell us about the procedures you would expect your associate to do most of the time.
I think the dentistry that I was exposed to was very different. When you went to the dentist, if you had to go to a specialist, you were going to drive 2 to 3 hours sometimes, right? And so we kind of formed that in our office where we do all the specialty procedures in office with sedation. So that's where an associate could expect to come on and kind of start off doing, just general dentistry and in general. And that was
Yeah.
what it would be. They would start off with fillings and crowns, root canals, but that's where too, I think when I was talking to you some yesterday, I didn't want to just blanket state, everything that we do because it is more mentorship. And even, last week, Dr. Parks and I were in the office and I just said, hey, like, I want to run this through you and talk this through with him, right? So that's another humbling thing. Like, I don't have all the answers, but it is
Yeah.
that teamwork and group work. And I think having an associate that's open to learning and open to doing more, and that's where culture is just such a big fit for me because yes, you could come in and say, hey, I'm just going to do fillings, but I don't know how fun that's going to be for
Yeah.
someone, right?
And it can unfold as you do it. I kind of say
Exactly.
fundamental
Exactly.
chord shifts and like specialty salsa, right? And you don't know what you do.
Exactly. Yes.
There's dentists who say, I never want to do clear aligners, and they love them. There's dentists, I don't know
Right.
why dentists are so dramatic at early ages. I never want to
I,
do
yes.
this. And then like how many times have you taste tested? Zero. So, but I also
Right.
think what you
Never
shared
say
is key
never.
is I have a practice with multiple dentists, including my brother, and at the end of the day, you got to do the fundamental chips well, whether you're the owner, whether you're the associate, that's what people are coming for. So there's,
Right.
fillings, crowns, restoring dental implants, doing great hygiene exams. I think it's just is key. And, I'll share as we wrap up, Andrew, dentists are people too. Not many people think we're people, right? They think we're the teachers that sleep in the back of the classroom, right? In our operatory chair. But now let's just, you've outlined so many great things about this job. You have such a great attitude. People are going to be able to text Hickory to 215-798-9897. They're able to go to dentistjobconnect.com to apply for this amazing position. But now let's talk about someone who comes there. Take your dentist hat off, right? What's fun to do on the weekends? What would you do at night? I just had this great CE course here, and I gave people all kinds of stuff to do in Philadelphia, and none of it had to do with dentistry. Museums, eating, Rocky Steps. So tell me some fun things to do in the area.
So I, over the last 3 years, have actually lost 90 pounds. So I've been on this huge
Awesome.
weight loss journey myself. So,
That's great.
and we actually moved from the Charlotte area to Hickory, and I've been so impressed at all the trails we have nearby. So Asheville obviously being close, but you have Boone, so you can go into the mountains, 30, 45-minute trips to some really amazing trails. We've got a lot of mountain biking and things like that, canoeing. I live on a lake, so we can take the boat out
Cool.
and kind of go skiing, wakeboarding, wake surfing, all that good stuff. Yeah, so there's a lot of things to do outside, and I'm more and more trying to get into things to help me maintain my weight loss. So
Yeah.
where there's lots of good gyms around too, which I don't want to sound like a gym kind of bro, but that's definitely something. You can go to the gym. I've gotten into Pilates, so we're doing more of that as well. In our office, we do some 5Ks and things like that around
Cool.
town. So if you need a group to join in on, we try to always be there to be a big group and support each other. So
Yeah, I was in
we're
Charlotte
there.
recently for an event, and I just really enjoyed the whole area. I was down in Raleigh, so North Carolina's a lot of great stuff, and I
Yeah.
appreciate you sharing. You're doing the work of the Lord GV Black, Andrew. I say this, you should be proud of yourself for adding a dentist to your practice. There's not enough good spaces, good spots for our newest dentists to learn. So truly appreciate you sharing. People can text Hickory to 215-798-9897. Stick around with me, but if you want to apply to this job or see any of our jobs, just visit dentistjobconnect.com. Thanks so much, Andrew.
Thank you.